Hi, welcome once again to another fantastic video. This is Santosh Sahu and you are watching Sahu's tutorial. In this YouTube video, I will be covering another 50 important questions. In the previous 15 videos, I have discussed 750 questions along with explanation. In this YouTube video, I will be covering another 50 important questions. Visit the playlist, that is 1000 MCQ series. You will get all the videos there and watch the video till the end because it is going to be a very fruitful session, very important sessions. So watch the video till the end. So before starting the session, I would like to request all of you, please do subscribe my channel Sahu's Tutorial and stay tuned with my channel, and tap the bell icon to get more notification that I will upload in future and share with your friends. So let's get into the video with question number 751. So here is the first question on your screen. Please answer in the comment box. That is question number 751 says that which of the following characters eventually transforms into a bird-like god himself and replaces Zeus as the king of the gods. So which of the following characters eventually transforms into a bird-like god himself and replaces Zeus as the king of gods? So your options are here. There is Pisistratus, Poseidon, Eros, Prometheus. So it is actually this story is actually in the birds, which is written by, that is the Aristophanes. It was written by Aristophanes, the Greek dramatist, the classical dramatist here. The classical dramatist, who have the following characters eventually transforms into a bird-like god. So it is from the birds. So here the character says here Pisistratus. Pisistratus is the character, okay, who transforms into a bird-like god himself and replaces Zeus as the king of the gods. Let's look at this explanation here. The Birds is a comedy by the ancient Greek playwright Aristophanes. It is the longest Aristophanes surviving plays, and it is a fairly conventional example of old comedy. Old comedy. So the plot of the play revolves around Pisistratus, an Athenian who convinces the birds to create a great city in the sky and thus regain their status as the original gods. Now Pisistratus eventually transforms into a bird-like god himself and replaces Zeus as the king of the gods. Next question. The phrase collective unconsciousness is associated with Sigmund Freud, C.G. Carl Jung, and both A and B, none of these. So you have collective unconsciousness is related to is associated with Carl Jung. Here B is the right answer. That is you have archetypal criticism. Now move to question number 753. When we rewrite a piece of discourse from one script to another, when we rewrite from a piece of discourse from one script to another, it is called translation, transliteration, transcreation, transformation. So it is one script to another script, it is called transliteration. Let's look at this. Let's try to understand, okay, and bring the differences between translations and transliteration. So let's look at here that a translation tells you the meaning of a word in another language. So this is translation, means the meaning of words in another language, whereas transliteration does not tell you the meaning of the words, but it helps you to pronounce them. So transliteration changes the letters from one alphabet or language into the corresponding similar sounding characters of another alphabet. So maybe this is a word from China. So A here in English it is A. So here it pronounced same. It helps you to pronounce them. So it is transliteration. Rhymers Club of the late 19th century was a group of young poets in London. Very true. Group of poets who wrote on the prostitutes and music hall dancers. Very true. So here both A and B is right. Rhymers Club was founded by William Butler Yeats. Rhymers Club was a group of London-based male poets founded in 1890 by William Butler Yeats and Ernest Rhys. Here, originally not much more than a dining club, it produced anthologies of poetry in 1892 and 1894. They met at a London club pub, that is A Old Cheshire Chase, in Fleet Street in the Domino room of Cafe Royal. Now, which of the following is not a part of Oresteia trilogy? Oresteia trilogy was written by Aeschylus. Aeschylus has written Oresteia trilogy, and here in that trilogy, Agamemnon is the play that comes first. Agamemnon, then you have the Libation bearers, and you have Eumenides. But Proteus was not there. So which is not a part of? So B was not the part of that, and that is the Oresteia trilogy that was written by Aeschylus. Next question. Two of the following critics have dealt with the reproduction of motherhood. So two of the following critics here, uh, they deal with reproduction of motherhood in feminist theory. Nancy Chodorow, Judith Federle, Catherine R. Stimson, and Carol Gilligan. So here the right option is Nancy Chodorow and Carol Gilligan, who deal with the reproduction of motherhood in feminist theory. Okay. So here 1 and 4 is the right answer. So C is the right option here. Move to Flower. Flower is a short story written by Girish Karnad. It's a short story, it's a dramatic monologue type of kind. Flower is a short play written by Mahesh Dattani, Asif Karim Boy, Girish Karnad. So it is written by Girish Karnad. Flower is a short play written by Girish Karnad. For the first time, in Flowers, Girish Karnad introduces an introspective confessional male voice of the priest, which has no precursor in the playwright's drama. The plot of the Flower is borrowed from a folk tale from the Chitradurga region in Karnataka. So here the Flowers short story short play written by Girish Karnad. Samuel Butler's Hudibras satirizes Puritanism, political corruption, Dryden and Poe. So Samuel Butler's Hudibras satirizes Puritanism. So A is the right answer over here. Proper study of mankind is man. Is a dictum of the Augustan age, means that they emphasize the importance of only men, not women. No, they believed in the study of human nature. They believed in the study of physical nature. So it does not deal with the physical nature, none of this. So yeah, they believed in the study of human nature. So B is the answer here. So the proper study of mankind is man. A dictum of the Augustinians means that they believed in the study of human nature. Moving to next question, Lady Dedlock. Here are some characters in your novel. Lady Bertram, Lady Harriet, Lady Jane. So Lady Dedlock, you know that Lady Dedlock appears in the novel, that is Bleak House, the Bleak House, and you have that is Lady Bertram appears in Mansfield Park, whereas Lady Jane appears in Vanity Fair, and Lady Harriet appears in Wives and Daughters, that was written by Elizabeth Gaskell. This novel Wives and Daughters was written by Elizabeth Gaskell. In that novel, the character Lady Harriet appears, whereas in Bleak House, the character Lady Dedlock appears, and Lady Bertram appears in Mansfield Park. So here Lady Dedlock, a fictional character in the novel Bleak House written by Dickens, a beautiful woman who harbors the secret that she bore an illegitimate daughter before her marriage to a wealthy baronet. Privilege and wealth have not fulfilled Lady Dedlock's expectations of life. So here Lady Honoria Dedlock is a character from Bleak House, whereas Lady Bertram, the sister of Fanny Price, is the heroine of that novel, that is Mansfield Park, mother who is married to a wealthy Sir Thomas Bertram. She is perpetually vague and distracted. And Maria Bertram is a fictional character in Jane Austen's 1840 novel, that is Mansfield Park. Moving to next question, the book 4 of Virgil Georgics compares human society with bees, elephants, wolves, fishes. So in book 4 of Virgil Georgics compares human society with bees. So here A is the right answer here. Moving to next question, the books you need not to read. The books made for purpose other than reading. Books read before you open them, since they belong to the category of books read before being written. The above extract is from George Louis Borges' The Library of Babel, Italo Calvino's On a Winter Night's Traveler, Umberto Eco's The Name of the Rose, or Francis Bacon of Studies. So these lines are from actually Italo Calvino's work, that is famous work On a Winter Night's Traveler. So B is the right answer here. Moving to the next question, question number 763. Next question. The neoclassical writers propound that man is limited being. The human pride needs to be suppressed, or man has to follow a natural hierarchy. So the neoclassical writers propound that man is a limited being. Very true. The human pride needs to be suppressed. It is true, and man has to follow a natural hierarchy. It is very true. So all these three are right as per neoclassical writers. They propounded these things. Okay, the novelists that indicated mostly the education system of his times: Charles Dickens, Thomas Hardy, Charles Reads, Wilkie Collins. Here Charles Dickens, in his novels, he mostly indicated the education system. So it is Charles Dickens. Cicero's Academica primarily concerns the debates between dash and academic skeptics. It was Stoics. So Cicero's Academica primarily concerns the debates between Stoics and academic skeptics. Let's look at this explanation here. The Academia is a work in a fragmentary state written by Academia skeptic philosopher Cicero, published in 2 editions. In the academic, Cicero aimed to present a complicated series of philosophical debates that had spanned over 250 years. The first layer in this series has 4 main stages and concerns the debates between Stoics and the academic skeptics about epistemology from the 3rd and 2nd centuries BCE. Moving to next question, the Sisterhood is Forever. Sisterhood is Forever, the women's anthology for a new millennium, is a 2003 anthology of a feminist writing. It is more than 50 women contributing 60 original essays written especially for it. Who has edited it? Robin Morgan, George Louis Borges, Samantha Bibor, Helen Sixtus. So here it was edited by Robin Morgan. Robin Morgan is the right answer here. Sisterhood is Forever, the women's anthology for a new millennium, is about it is about Robin Morgan. Sorry, it is written by Robin Morgan, edited by Robin Morgan. Moving to next question. Peter Carey's Jack Max, James Courtney's Foe, Jean Rice's White Sargassy, William Golding's Lord of the Flies. These are works, and they have been influenced from Daniel Defoe's Robinson Crusoe, Charlotte Bronte's Jane Eyre, or R.M. Ballantyne's The Coral Island, or Charles Dickens' The Great Expectation. Very easy that Peter Carey's Jack Max was inspired from Charles Dickens' The Great Expectation, whereas William Golding's The Lord of the Flies was influenced from R.M. Ballantyne's The Coral Island. And you have Jane Rice's Wild Sargassy was influenced from Charlotte Bronte's Jane Eyre, whereas James Courtney's Foe was influenced from Daniel Defoe's Robinson Crusoe. So here is the matching. Next question, nasal tone. Nasal tone in speech is distinguishing the feature of British English, Scottish English, Australian English, and American English. Nasal tone in speech is distinguishing the feature of American English. So here D is the right answer here. Moving to next question, malapropism. You know the malapropism is coined after a character, that is Mrs. Malaprop. The way of the world, the rivals, she stoops to conquer, none of the above. So it is the Rivals, in the novel that is written by Richard Sheridan's The Rivals, that is published in the year 1775. It is published in the 1775. In that novel, the word malapropism was coined. That was written by The Rivals, that is Richard Sheridan. Let's look at this explanation. What is malapropism? Verbal blunder in which one word is replaced by another similar. One word is replaced by another similar in sound but different in meaning. Although William Shakespeare had used the device for comic effect, the term derives from Richard Brinsley Sheridan's character Mrs. Malaprop in his play The Rivals, that was published in the year 1775. Moving to next question. Who of the following writers did not receive the Nobel Prize? Old Soyinka got, Chinua Achebe, James Courtney, Nadine Gordimer. All of them, James Courtney, Nadine Gordimer, Old Soyinka, they all of them have received the prestigious Nobel Prize, but Chinua Achebe had not received. Okay, so here B is the right answer. Chinua Achebe did not receive Nobel Prize for literature. Moving to next question, the decline and the fall of Roman Empire by Edward Gibbon. The decline and fall of the Roman Empire by Edward Gibbon is a significant work in 6 volumes. So it has 6 volumes. The decline and fall of the Roman Empire by Edward Gibbon is a significant work in 6 volumes. Moving to next question. Said in 1941, the story is about how she is constantly regarded and ugly. So said in 1941, the story is about how she is constantly regarded as ugly due to her mannerisms and dark skin. As a result, she develops an inferiority complex which fuels her desire for the blue eyes she equates with whiteness. Name the novel. So it was it The Bluest Eyes, Sula, Song of Solomon, Beloved. So it was The Bluest Eyes that was written by Toni Morrison. All these works, that is The Bluest Eyes, Sula, Song of Solomon, Beloved, all these are important works written by Toni Morrison. So in that novel, The Bluest Eyes, in The Bluest Eyes, this character appears here. So, and for the first time in Song of Solomon, Toni Morrison has used the male narrative. The male narrator was used in main narration or main narrator was used in Song of Solomon. That is by Toni Morrison, which African American writer wrote, playing in the dark, whiteness and literary imagination. Playing in the dark, whiteness and literary imagination. Toni Morrison, Jordan L. Huston's Amory Baraka, Wallace Walker. So playing in the dark and whiteness and literary imagination was written by Toni Morrison. So A is the answer here. Moving to next question. Who is the author of the book The Social Contract? The Social Contract, originally published as On the Social Contract or Principles of Political Right. Jean-Jacques Rousseau, Auguste Strindberg, Emile Zola, Honore de Balzac. So it was the social contract. You know, it is famous work by Jean-Jacques Rousseau. So here A is the right option here. Moving to next question. Let's look at this explanation here. The book theorizes about the best way to establish a political community in the face of a problems commercial society, which Rousseau had already identified in Discourse of Inequality. The epigram of the work, that is Phoedrus Equus Delacemus Legus. Let us set equal terms for the truth. Let us set equal terms for the truth. It's from Virgil's Aeneid. So he concludes book 1, chapter 3 with, let us then admit that force does not create right and that we are obliged to obey only legitimate powers. So, and he says that a state has no right to enslave a conquered people. In this desert's social contract, everyone will be free because they all forfeit the same number of rights and impose the same duties on all. Rousseau argues that it is absurd for a man to surrender his freedom for slavery. Thus, participants must have a right to choose the laws under which they live. When Rousseau uses the word democracy, he refers to the direct democracy rather than the representative democracy. So, it was the social contract written by Jean-Jacques Rousseau. Now now the next question, 775. Man is born free and everywhere he is in chains. Okay, man is born free but everywhere he is in chains. This famous line, which work of Jean-Jacques Rousseau begins with this line? The Social Contract, Emile or Education, Confessions, Julie or the Heloise. Julie or the Heloise is actually written by Jean-Jacques Rousseau. It's an epistolary novel actually. It's an epistolary novel by Jean-Jacques Rousseau, Julie or the Heloise. Whereas the Social Contract, the novel, begins with this famous quote that man is born free and everywhere he is in chains. So here A is the right option. Moving to next question, who developed a formalist approach to Saussure's? The structuralist theories is based on work its prolific manner to a theory of language, which was expanded regime of theory of language, a formal development of glossmatics. Glossmatics is scientific calculus of language. Louis Helmslov, George Herbert Mead, Carnap, Charles W. Morris. So here Louis Helmslov is the right answer. The glossmatics or the prolegomena to a theory of language, it was written by whom? It was written by Louis Helmslov. Moving to next question, who pioneered the application of Saussurean semiotics to film theory? So Saussurean semiotics to a film theory, applying syntagmatic analysis to scenes of films and grounding film semiotics in greater context. Christian Metz, Eliseo Beron, Umberto Eco, none of the above. So it was Christian Metz who is related with also screen theory or film theory. Screen theory and film theory also, who pioneered the application of Saussurean semiotics to film theory. It was Christian Metz. Christian Metz is the right answer. Moving to next question, who wrote the sentimental novel Julie or the New Heloise? Julie or the New Heloise was written by Jean-Jacques Rousseau. It is also sentimental as well as epistolary novel. So Jean-Jacques Rousseau has written Julie or the New Heloise. Next question, let's look at the explanation here. It is an epistolary novel, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, published 1761. The novel's subtitle points to the history of Heloise d'Argenteuil, Peter Abelard, a medieval story of passion and Christian renunciation. Arthur Schopenhauer cited Julie as one of the 4 greatest novels ever written, along with Tristram Shandy, William Meister, Apprenticeship, and Don Quixote. It is thought that the virtuous atheist Ulmenar is based on Baron de Holbach, given his friendship and generous sponsorship of Rousseau. So here that is Julie, or you have Julie or the New Heloise is an epistolary novel. It is also a sentimental novel published in the year 1761. Okay, next question, the first novel written by Graham Greene. The first novel written by Graham Greene, Istanbul Train, England Made Me, The Heart of the Matter, The Man Within. So the first novel written by Graham Greene is The Man Within. Next question, a memorable character Gradgrind. Gradgrind figures in the following. Gradgrind, who is, it is not for Pickwick Papers, Hard Times, Table of Two Cities, no. It was Oliver Twist, no. So it was from Hard Times. Gradgrind appears Hard Times. Gradgrind is a fictional character, the proprietor of an experimental school where only facts are taught. Only facts are taught. In Charles Dickens' novel Hard Times, published in the year 1854. For Dickens, he embodies the unsympathetic qualities of the utilitarian social philosophy prevalent in Victorian England. Thomas Gradgrind. okay, is the notorious school board superintendent in Dickens' 1854 novel Hard Times, who is dedicated to the pursuit of profitable enterprise. His name is now used generally to refer to someone who is hard and only concerned with the cold facts and numbers. So, Thomas Gradgrind appears in the novel Hard Times written by Charles Dickens, published in the year 1854. Moving to next question, Sir Anthony Absolute is a character from The Rivals, written by Richard Sheridan, where the character says that a circulating library in a town is an evergreen tree of diabolical knowledge. This mode is expressive of exploration of fiction, explosion of fiction by women, both A and B, none of these. So these lines actually is indicating the explosion of fiction by women. So B is the right answer here. Moving to next question, which of the following novel was left unfinished by Charles Dickens? Okay, Tale of the Two Cities was completed, Bleak House was also completed, and The Mystery of Edwin Drood was not completed. So it was an incomplete or unfinished work by Charles Dickens. So The Mystery of Edwin Drood. Moving to next question, Thomas Love Peacock's in his Nightmare Abbey satirized, okay, Thomas Love Peacock's famous work Nightmare Abbey satirizes Coleridge, Shelley, both Coleridge and Shelley, none of these, okay. So in Thomas Love Peacock in his Nightmare Abbey satirizes Coleridge, Shelley, both of them. So he satirizes Coleridge and Shelley. So here C is the right answer here, both Coleridge and Shelley. Moving to the next question, from among the Canterbury Pilgrims, which group would qualify as the upper class? The Pardoner, the Miller, Nunspich, no. Franklin, Parson, Waibabad, no. The Knight, the Square, and the Parish. So the Knight, the Square, and the Parish, they would qualify as the upper class. Moving to next question, plagiarism is a well-known word and concept in academic circles. The word plagiarius, in Latin, however, meant trickster, no, quack, swindler, no, a loafer, allowed, no, a torturer and a plunder. So the word plagiarius in Latin, however, meant a torturer or a plunderer. So D is the right answer over here. Moving to the next question, who was it that compared Dickens to Shakespeare, who can with a phrase make a character as real as flesh and blood? So who was it that compared Dickens to Shakespeare, who can with a phrase make a character as real as flesh and blood? Was it Matthew Arnold or Raymond Williams, I.A. Richards, T.S. Eliot? So it was T.S. Eliot has said that he has compared Dickens to Shakespeare, who can with a phrase make a character as real as flesh and blood. So here D is the right answer. Moving to next question, which of the following characters persuade everyone to give Ajax a fitting funeral in the Sophocles play, that is Sophocles play Ajax. Ajax is a play done by Sophocles. In that play, which character has persuaded everyone to give Ajax a fitting funeral? Was it Odysseus, Agamemnon, Menelaus, Teucer? So it was Odysseus who has persuaded everyone to give Ajax a fitting funeral in Sophocles' play Ajax. So here A is the right answer here. Let's look at these explanations here. The last part of the play is taken up with an angry dispute regarding what to do with the Ajax body. The two kings, Agamemnon and Menelaus, want to leave the body unburied for scavengers to ravage, while Ajax's half-brother Teucer wants to bury it. Odysseus arrives and persuades Agamemnon and Menelaus to allow Ajax a proper funeral. Odysseus points out that even one's enemies deserve respect in death. The play ends where Teucer is making arrangements for the burial of Ajax. Next question, the novelist Anthony Trollope belongs to Romantic age, no, Victorian, modern, no. So it is Victorian age. Next question, Alfred Tennyson's In Memoriam was written in memory of Arthur Hallam. Mr. W is Arthur Clarke. No, yes, in memory of Arthur Hallam. So here A is the right answer here. Next question, who thought early to rise and early to bed makes a male healthy, wealthy and dead? Ogden Nash, no. Peter Sellers, no. James Thurber, Spike Milligan. So it was James Thurber. James Thurber has told that early to rise and early to bed makes a male healthy and wealthy and dead. Next question, whose dying words are Crito, I owe a cock to Asclepius. Will you remember to pay the debt? Crito, I owe a cock to Asclepius. Will you remember to pay the debt? Aristotle, Socrates, Plato, Aeschylus. So it was actually the dying words of Socrates. So B is the right answer here. Next question, what was the superstition around the eve of St. Agnes by Keats? It's crucial to an understanding of John Keats' famous poem. If a virgin performed the proper ritual on Saint Agnes Eve, she would dream of her future husband. It is very true. So here A is the right answer. If a virgin performed the proper ritual on Saint Agnes Eve, she would dream of her future husband. So it is very true in case of John Keats' famous poem, that is Eve of Saint Agnes. Next question. Identify the person who sets himself up as a knight with a pistol rather than a sword in the play The Night of the Burning Pestle. Was it Ralph, Tim, George, Square? So it was Ralph. Ralph was the person who sets himself up as a knight with a pistol rather than a sword in the play The Night of the Burning Pestle. Moving to next question. The works like The Earthly Paradise, Dante and his Circle, Goblin Market, other poems and the journal The Germ are associated with the Pre-Raphaelites, higher criticism, the Cavalier poets, the Pre-Romantics. No, it was the Pre-Raphaelites. Okay, the Germ is a journal, Germ journal. Earthly Paradise, William Morris. Earthly Paradise was written by William Morris. Dante, his Circle, Goblin Market, and the other poems and the journal Germ are associated with the Pre-Raphaelites movement. Move to next question. Which English writer was banned in USSR in 1929 for occultism and spiritualism? T.S. Eliot, no. Dickens, no. Hardy, no. It was Arthur Conan Doyle was banned okay, in USSR in 1929 for occultism and spiritualism. So here D is the right answer here. Moving to next question. Who was the first recipient of Nobel Prize for Literature? Theodore Mommsen, no. Leo Tolstoy, Rudyard Kipling, R.F. Sully Prudhomme. It was here D is the right answer here. R.F. Sully Prudhomme. He was the first person to receive the prestigious Nobel Prize for Literature. Moving to next question. For whom did Samuel Beckett work as a secretary for a long time? Samuel Beckett worked as a secretary for James Joyce. So B is the right answer here. So for James Joyce, Samuel Beckett has worked as secretary for a long time. B is the right answer over here. Moving to next question. Who developed a structural version of semiotics named generative semiotics? Structural version of semiotics named generative semiotics, trying to shift the focus of discipline from science to system of signification. Was it Algirdas Julian Grimas, Thomas A. Sebeok, Charles M. Morrison, Woody Lotman? It was Algirdas Julian Grimas has coined that generative semiotics, which is a version of semiotics named generative semiotics. Okay, trying to shift the focus of discipline from science to systems of significations. So it is Algirdas Julian Grimas was the person who developed this generative semiotics. Next question. Let's look at the explanation here. Algirdas Julian Grimas developed a structural version of semiotics named generative semiotics, trying to shift the focus of discipline from science to system of signification. His theories developed the ideas of Saussure, Helmholtz, Claude Lévi-Strauss, and Maurice Merleau-Ponty. Next question. Who wrote The Apprentice? Apprentice was written by here Arun Joshi, the existential writer, the Indian existential writer Arun Joshi. Arun Joshi's Apprentice. Now to end up the session, let's have question number 800. So here is the last question today. Which was Kamala Markande's first novel? A Handful of Rice, Silence of Desire, Some Inner Fairy, Nectar in Sea. So it was Nectar in Sea was the first novel. Then she has written Silence of Desire, where Dundecker is the main protagonist. Where Dundecker is the main protagonist in Silence of Desire, whereas Nectar in Sea, the title has been taken from Samuel Taylor Coleridge's Work Without Hope. Thank you once again for watching the video. Please stay tuned with my channel and do not forget to subscribe my channel, South Tutorial.